So can you talk about working with your actors and how you actually cast the film?
Well, working with, we were so lucky to get such great actors. We should stand in the light, because otherwise it just looks like we're like billboards with the credits going up. The fact is a director has to work with actors, has to have great actors. And, I'm so lucky that, in this film especially, and all the other films that Andy Serkis out here somewhere, all the films I've worked on before, I've had such wonderful actors to work with. And it's such a collaboration, it's such a thing of giving, taking, and working out exactly, what we can give each other, that makes, working on a film like this so special. So the fact that I got Gemma, who's, massive, not like that. No, I don't mean that at all, that. And Terence, who's obviously, he's an icon. And the fact that we've got these people and Vanessa, and it was like, oh my God, I've got to behave, I've got to actually know something, when you turn up. And then actually when you do have them, it's just a pleasure.
Terence, I'd like to throw to you on that note. I think he's got his own. It's an extraordinary performance, and I also have to admit that I spent the whole film going, is this really the first film that Terence Stamp and Vanessa Redgrave have been in together? Because it felt like such a, deliciously perfect coupling. Can you talk about working with Vanessa and also working with Paul?
Well, Vanessa and I had worked together. We'd worked together in the theatre. We'd done an Ibsen, The Lady from the Sea. So I kind of knew the quality of her, really. And so, but when I got on the set, I realized that she'd had an incredible amount of tragedy in her life, in the year prior to the movie. She'd lost her daughter and her sister and her brother, but watching her, I thought this is what makes her a great artist, because she was just sort of putting that into the character, And so being on the set with her, really, it was just like energy, really. It was sometimes hard to know where I stopped and she started, It was just a wonderful alchemy, really.
And what about working with Paul? What's his directorial approach?
The first time I went to Hollywood, which seems a long time ago now, and I was working with William Wyler, who I thought was, the greatest director of all time. And I said to him, like, if ever I want to direct, what's your secret? Like, you've never directed a movie that was less than fantastic, What could you tell me? And he said, well, 80% script, 20% get the best actors you can afford,
Basically, I didn't turn up. I was like...
So I was kind of really pleasantly surprised, because when I first met him, he had kind of more ink on his forearms than I put in writing a book, So I was really taken aback at, like, the degree of sensitivity he showed on the set.
And Gemma, can I ask you about your experience of working on this film? It's a wonderful performance, and very engaging. And can you tell us something about how you came to be in the film, and also working with your fellow thesps?
I just when I read the script, I was working on this big action movie where I was very violent and badass in it, and I wanted to do something very different. So I was sent this script, and I read it and just thought it was beautiful, just one of the most beautiful things I'd ever read. It was so gorgeous. And obviously the antithesis of badass, she's kind of, sort of geeky and goofy and not sexy and, you know. Anyway, so I was really desperate to do it, and not just for the role, but for the beauty of the script. And then I spoke to Paul on the phone, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, you can do it." And it was really quite a challenge for me, because I had to do all this music stuff, and I had to learn how to conduct, and I had to. Anyway, I'm a little bit musical, but. And then the choir itself, some of the choir are actors, but the majority weren't. They were choir members from a choir in Newcastle or County Durham. And so I had to kind of conduct them, really, and usually you kind of fudge it, but I actually really had to I was quite responsible for them, which was very challenging for me and quite sort of stressful at times, but also very rewarding because they're all lovely. So it was a very I had to learn a lot, I guess, and also then I was working with these amazing actors that, for me, you know, they are icons. You know, Terence and Vanessa. So I felt very, very humbled, but very, very supported by Paul, because I feel like he was in the same boat as me. We were like, sorry if there's kids in the audience. I always swear, it's terrible. But yeah, Paul really got a great, you know, he's very sensitive, as Terence said, and no, but very, you know, he just understands. He's a very, very talented man, not only as a writer but as a director. And we had a really great relationship. And then Terence, we had a good chemistry, didn't we? Look at his face. It says it all. It was such a pleasure to work with you. You were brilliant.
I'm going to. Before I throw to the floor, I'm going to ask Ken the producer's question, because one of the things that's, you know, terrific about the film are the musical choices in this, and I can't imagine it would have been easy on the logistics front. There's, you know, everything from Salt and Pepper to Motorhead in this score or soundtrack. So, what kind of challenges did that present, if any?
God, a lot, especially when you're working with amateurs, really, in terms of the choir. No, not these guys. They're professionals. These two are professionals. But you know, we had a group of amateur choir members from the Northeast up in Newcastle and County Durham. And you know, luckily for us, we found a choir director up there called Richard Scott. And combined with Laura, who's in the audience as well, you know, we arranged these songs and rehearsed with them, and Gemma had to, you know, put them under her wing, and it was a lot of hard work, but we had a lot of support in the musical side of things, cutting edge music as well, put a lot of support into this to help us make it happen, but yeah, it was tough.